Hey guys, I am Boaz. I'm a mathematics and physics teacher. I also did actuarial science. So I'm under the operation of two careers. But most importantly, I have realized and I learned that my call in life was to add value to the teens, to the youth, to the young people in school. I have worked in quite a number of schools. I have dealt with the local system, that is the Kenyan system, and I've also worked under the Cambridge system because I've also taught in the international schools. Now today I'm going to talk to the students who are in high school. I'm going to talk to the parents. I'm going to talk to the teachers, administration, and school principals. Not only here in Kenya, but all the way to Nigeria, all the way to Ghana, all the way to Somalia, all the way to the United States, in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, all the way to the United Kingdom. I know very well Dr. Peter Brille and the team, the UK team, are already online, and I'm going to share this across the whole globe. And before I start, I would like to give thanks to Jalash, who has given me this opportunity to air my program, because we had a meeting with him yesterday and he said, we need to come up with a program that helps the teens, that helps the young people, so that they may realize their true potential. So Jalash, thank you so much. And I know by working with you, we are going to reach quite a number of teens, and it's going to influence and change their life for the good in a positive way. Now guys, I have done a lot of mathematics, I've done a lot of physics, and I've also done the actuarial science. So the reason why I came up with this program, in fact, my company is called DISNEYLAND Media Internationals. So we do mentorship, we do the coaching, we do the conferences for teens, high schoolers, middle school, A levels, even at campus, inviting different mentors across different areas of study, different fields and different professions. So I'm using my actuarial knowledge, my mathematics knowledge, to help us think, how should we help the young people? And I believe many a times, like yesterday when I talked with Jalash, and he asked me, who are you? Jalash asked me, who are you, Boaz? And honestly speaking, to answer that question, I am a spiritual being having a human experience come trailing through the breath of the angels. So what did I mean by that? Because all of us are spiritual beings. All of us are spiritual. Because the time that you will realize to connect to your maker, connect to God in whatever that you do, as a young person, as a parent, whom I also train. I also have a lot of conferences with parents on parental skills. How do you engage in your child's school? How do you engage in their school life? And one of the things that I know, to open it up for the talk, young people that we have at the current age, they want to succeed. They want to reach this point of success without really working for it. And I believe very well it is the human archivist, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that once said, everybody wants to be popular, but not everyone can be popular, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. So to me, service and significance equals to success. And I always believe, too many times I write even in the articles in the newspapers, I believe that the journey to success is not straight. There is a curve called failure, a loop called confusion, speed bumps called friends, red lights called enemies, caution light called families. But if you have a spare part called determination, an engine called perseverance, insurance called faith, and a driver called Jesus, then we will all make it to a place called success. So young people, this idea of yearning for getting the success without working for it doesn't work. I believe very well in the third law of motion, the Newtonian laws of motion. One of the laws that Newton created and developed was the Newton third law. And it clearly states, to every action there is an opposite and equal reaction. So in other words, if you do good, if you study hard, If you nurture your potential, like my program does it, unfolding, unblocking, and making young people reach their potential, if you work hard at this particular moment, trust me, you will reach in that land called success. And I would always encourage people, because success is not finite. It is not a destiny. It's a journey. And I want to urge you so much that the young people studying today, make sure that you take your schoolwork well. Do not give up. Remember, if you give up for yourself, you've not just given up on yourself, but you have given up on your country. Because what we will be as a country, as a nation, or as a continent, to all the African setups, relies on what this young person is going to realize. Because I always talk so much about this word potential. This word to me is very much powerful, because some of you are taking physics. If you have a dry cell, in physics we call it the PD. It has the energy, it has the potential. But before you connect it to the wires, it cannot light the bulb. So to me, the word potential is very great, because I know, and I always tell many young people, the richest place we have on earth is not the Soviet Union where we mine the uranium. It is not the gold mine in South Africa. It is not the seafood. It is not the mining of the diamond. But it's the graveyard, it's the cemetery. Because our young people do not realize their potential. And as science claims, 99% of the human being dies before they reach 10% of their potential. And I'm working with youth in my mentorship and in my coaching, in my conference, so that they may realize their true potential. I know you are a young person in the age range of 18 to 20, or maybe 20 to 30. I'm talking to young people today. Remember Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States. He once said that if you give me 6 hours to cut down a tree, I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. So as a young person, which axe are you sharpening? This is your preparation ground. And I believe very well from Dr. Miles Munro once said that if you have a seed, like here if we talk about a plant, if you have a seed, if you put it on a table or on the 10th floor and pray for years, it will never grow nor germinate. Unless you come and obey the law of the soil. You plant this seed in the right soil, provide water and all the environments, then it will germinate and come forth to be a tree. The same is applicable to the young person listening to me today. I can see so many people streaming online, not only in Kenya, from Uganda I can see, from the United Kingdom and the US. So young person listening to me today, what are you doing with your seed? You are a package of seed. That's why God said, be fruitful. He would not have said be fruitful if you are not seedful. Remember, God did not provide tables and chairs for a man. He hid them in the trees. He did not provide the cars and the buildings. He hid them in the rocks. I know many times young people becoming lazy in high school, later on in college and not working hard. Then they say there is no money. I came today to dispute that statement. No money has left the planet. No money has gone to the moon. No money has gone to the Jupiter. It is all with us here. It is resources can only be attracted by creativity. And I'm here today to help you unlock your potential. If you're a parent listening to me today, what do you do to your child so that they may be fruitful? Do you provide the right environment for their study? Do you buy the right books? Do you pay the tuition fee on time? Do you mentor your children? Because with the era of the internet, there is quite a number of things that really affect and influence the performance of our children. So what are you doing as a parent? Have you taken up your mentorship role or the parental role? I know sometimes your child might not have done that well in their performance, but listen, there is still hope. Believe me, just like I said that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, come trailing through the breath of the ancestors, the breath of the angels, the ancestry. So you need to guide this child, because parents have missed their role in this generation. And I believe the strength that is in your child Like yesterday I had a talk, we were with Jalash in the Bonga na Jalash. And I mentioned something, I gave a very good example. And this story was being told of somebody called Dr. James Emmons Kwejiragri of Ghana. He was the first Ghanaian to earn a PhD from Achimota College of Accra. And what was the story being told? Even if I retell it in a manner that offends the original story, my point will still be made. Dr. James Emmons said there was a poultry farmer who kept poultry. Then one evening, some of them strayed into the bush. And the following day on their return journey, one of them was not looking like one of them. It was the chick of an eagle. Then one day a naturalist visited the farm, then asked the farmer, "What are you doing with the chick of an eagle? This is not the normal chick." Then the farmer said, "Yes, I know. It has been fed too long on chicken feeds. It has long lost its chickenhood, its eaglehood, and acquired the chickenhood." Then the naturalist said, "No, once an eagle will always be an eagle." Then the farmer said, "Prove to me." Then one of the mornings, the naturalist came and visited the farmer and picked the chick and placed at the palm of his hand and urged it to fly. It flew and it never returned back. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is the eagle in you as a parent, as a child, do not give up on yourself because you have the potential. Don't ever give up on yourself. Because for you to achieve this particular success, I read so many books and so many stories that nurture my mind. That's why many times I talk, I don't really talk that fast because it has to be downloaded from my subconscious mind into my hippocampus that I may explain it and elucidate it with impeccable clarity. Now, this word success to me is a very powerful word. Remember what Mother Teresa of Calcutta once said? She said that if you get into a dark room, you do not complain, but light the candle and ask your neighbors to light the candle. Guys who are online, I'll be able to respond to your questions later. And light the candle. The room will be bright. So it's not a matter of complaining. I know many times parents, governments, people are pointing fingers. And we expect the government to solve all our problems. The answer is no. No government can help sort out all our problems. And as I talk to the entire globe, I'm talking to every government, to every student, every school, both local and international. I also work now with Jalash to air this program to challenge and inspire our young people. Because your greatest glory is never in falling and failing, but in rising every time you fail and fall. Because I believe young people, they just want to be great. They want to be famous. You cannot graduate out of the high school, guys, then just find success on your side. You have to work for it. People like Jalash did it. He worked for it. This guy never sleeps. He wakes up early. Then you want to wake up at 9 and expect to be successful. Go back to the documentaries because they can be located from libraries. Read what Dr. Martin Luther King once said. You all want to be famous, but you cannot achieve it until you work for it. Until you work for it in order to achieve whatever you want. If you listen so carefully to the Spirit, you know sometimes the universe can whisper to you, but do not wait until it shouts. Because deep in me, I have a deep feeling that my calling was to help young people connect to the ideas that make them be successful. And I want every young person that I talk to, I teach in school, because I mentor from high school, middle school, all the way to campus, along with teaching of my mathematics, physics, and even the quantitative analysis and techniques at master's level. That one of the deepest dreams of any human is to achieve the highest, truest expression of yourself. I go back to the books of the deep and I realized that Mother Teresa of Calcutta was great. And even Swami Vivekananda once said that just identify one idea. Think of it, dream of it, and live on it. Let the mind, let the nerves and the muscles be full of this idea and leave any other idea alone. That is the surest way to success. And if you want to be successful as a young person, work hard in school As a parent, support your child. There are so many influence from the internet. Start identifying with people who can mentor your children. And I believe I've come up with this program under the Disneyland Media International to even the political, geopolitical leaders listening to me. If you want to identify with this program, you can sponsor it. You can support this program so that we can reach every nation, every child. Because it has come a time that we realize everybody is looking at the government solution. The government can never offer you a solution. Our greatness is not a given. Remember, greatness is never given, but it's earned. None of us was born great, but we were born with greatness. It is deep inside you. So you have to cultivate it. Remembering you are a spiritual being. Now, based on these things I was talking about, your potential, which is the PD, I'm talking about the success, your spiritual life. And I know very well that most of the times young people, they think or they have a feeling that it's just a laissez-faire attitude, that we sit there and wait, then we succeed. We cannot succeed that way. We have to work for it. We have to believe in whatever we do. And as a parent, register for my mentorship program. Register, subscribe to our channel. Work with us because we are here to help your child. There are so many things that affect the young people. They're always on the social media platform. But what are you doing as a parent? Number one, you need to work closely with your teachers. You need to visit the school where your child is and help come up with solutions. Because remember this, I've never seen a mango tree go to the market and say, here it is, I have the fruits. It doesn't do that. You are the one who is going to where the mango tree is. Why are you doing that? Because the fruit. So what attracts people to you is the resources. You have value. And I always tell people, if you want to be successful in life, do not seek success, but seek to be a person of value, a person of worth, a person that people solve the problems, then you will have all the money. The more problems we have in Kenya, the more problems we have in the United States, the more problems we have in the European Union, in the African continent, the more jobs we have. And that is what young people can help us to do at this moment. What are the problems you are solving? What are the solutions you are coming up with? Because for you to come up with this word we call success, for you to succeed here, you must acclimatize to whatever that is taking it to be. And I believe that is the truth. That's what will help you achieve it. Identify an idea, young person. You can contact me anytime. You can register for my conference, which we normally conduct every last Saturday of the month. And I believe if you do well in your maths, you do well in your sciences, you do well in your studies, and start thinking about the career life. Because I want a situation where parents will be monitoring and being close to what their children are doing at school. That is what it should take. Listen to Jesus. He said it is finished. So to me, I can tell you, death is not that you have to die old. Christ did not die old, but he achieved everything. Listen to Apostle Paul. I have finished my work. I have kept the faith. I have been poured out like a drink offering. Now I can die. Do you know why most human beings do not want to die? Because they know they have not achieved what the Lord, the God of heaven, called them to do. Because to me, there are three people in life. The poor people, the rich people, and the wealthy people. Poor people talk about money all the times. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people talk about ideas. Have you reached an idea person? Have you reached the level of idea as a person? You need to come up with ideas in what will make this country to be what it is. And as a young person, you need to be a thinker. Because your creativity, your hard work, people will be attracted to the values that you offer to them. Because to me, significance plus, mostly when we talk about, when you have a significance and purpose, this is what will always be equating to success. Your significance and your purpose. What are you doing? Because the moment you ask yourself the question, who are you? I'm checking my clock. By knowing whom you are, then definitely it can lead you to whatever that you want to achieve. Because all of us are great. Your child is not a poor performer. If they don't do well in exam, does not mean they're stupid. We continue from there now, from that talk. God has deeply used me as a spiritual being, reaching the nations of the earth. Now, I want also to show you some of the mathematics knowledge from my mathematics prowess. You know, as you can see, I'm teacher Boaz, and you see a lot of mathematics wherever I walk. Now, a young person, when you want to do well in maths, today I'll show you briefly about some logarithms. You know, like log of a number. I will tell you some of the basic laws. Some of the basic laws, which is important. As I always teach you maths, I'm always a happy teacher, and I give people laws, the principles. Now, somebody can come and put for you log xy in mathematics is like the log x plus the log y, because when you multiply two numbers or two letters or two variables, you add their logs. Then log of x over y, we get log x minus log y. That is what we call the quotient. Let me set my stopwatch. We call it the quotient property. Then if you have the log of x base y, you can write it to be log x over log y. I'm giving you the fundamentals. Like somebody, if you want to cook your meat, your coffee, your tea, you must have all the ingredients, the recipe to that particular menu. So I'm giving you the mathematics recipe. The ingredients. These are the ingredients that you need to cook your maths well in your mind. Now the other property here, this property 1, 2, 3. What if you have the log of x power n base k? We can write it power k, we multiply x base n. And the last property we usually call in mathematics the jumping rule. So you see the k has a behavior or a misbehavior of jumping, so it multiplies here. I'll give you the rules, then I give you the numerical application. You know, after giving a talk, I like teaching maths. Now guys, so you can have it to be another property here that is very, very important. If you have the log of maybe the square root, or call it the nth root of x base y, you can write it to be log of x. Remember, the nth root of something is like raising to power 1 over n, then base y. And I will basically just explain some of those principles here without going any further. Let me just explain it right away. Like somebody asking you, what is the square root of a number, maybe 4096? We all know the square root of 4096 is 64, which we get is 64. Now, instead of writing the square root, somebody can write it to be the square root of root 4096, the same as 4096 power half. So I'm teaching those people who are enjoying my math lesson, right? Now, when you ask the square root, it's like raising to power half. So in your middle school, even in your A level, if you see power half, don't be puzzled. Just know it is the square root. Because 4096, we can rewrite it as a multiple of 2. So we can come here, let me put my duster here. We can come and write 4096. Then we divide. 2 gets here 2048. 2 gets here 1024. 2 gets here 512. 2 gets here 256. 2 gets here 128. 2 gets here 64. 2 gets here 32. 2 gets here 16. 2 get into 16, 8. 2 get into 8, 4. 2 get into 4, 2. Then 2 gets into 2, 1s. What a beautiful arithmetic. Now we count. How many 2s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So instead of writing 4096, we can write 2 power 12. So 2 power 12 is 4096. Then you put the bracket. Then it was the 4096 was raised to power half. So I will raise it to power half. Then that reminds me of another property before I solve it. There's a property that says if you have a number x power p power n, it can be written to x pn. We can multiply the powers. So what is a half times 12? Is 6. So we get it to be 2 power 6. 2 power 6, so 2 power 2, 4. 2 power 3, 8. 2 power 4, 32. 2 power 5, no, 2 power 4 is 16. 2 power 5 is 32. 2 power 6 is 64. So the answer becomes 64. Can you pause my video and use your plastic calculator? You know I don't like using a calculator. I normally connect my subconscious mind, the knowledge of the spirit, the knowledge of the mind, to use the mental software. So I'm very smart in maths anyway. So the square root of 1496 becomes 64. So I've taught you some of the best ways of handling it. So that was just an example as I was giving you some of the rules, which is very important. And as I do this, this is also an encouragement to all our maths teachers and to all students. Please don't always rush to the formula and to the answer. Go back to the basics. The definition of something is what will always make you succeed. Now, I've talked about these rules, and I want to justify here. When you have x power p, power n can be written to be x power n power p. You can interchange the powers. You bring it in or outside. An example, somebody comes and give you 5 power, what do you want? Maybe 5 squared, or put it power 3. Can be written to be 5 power 3 power 2. But what is 5 squared? 25. 25 cubed means 25 times 25 times 25. What is 5 cubed? 5 cubed is 125. 125 squared should be equal to 25 times 25 times 25. Guys, let me teach you a shortcut of multiplying any 3-digit number. If you have 125 times 125, this is what you are supposed to do. We simply say 5 times 5 is 25. You carry 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. Plus 2 plus 5, 2 we carried 20, 22. Then we carry 2 again. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 by 1 is 5. So this 5 plus 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4. So 10 plus 4 is 14. Plus 2 we carried is 16. I carry what? I carry 1. Then 2 times 2, 2 by 1. So this is 2 plus 2, 4. Plus 1 we carried 5. Then 1 times 1 is 1. So we get 15,625. Pause my video and check from your calculator. I'm teaching you the shortcuts on how to multiply numbers. So we have already, I'm justifying the numerical values with the law. So many times you do exam, you start by saying, by definition. That's what I used to tell to my university lecturers. I say, by definition, the principle states. Then I start working the problem. Okay, guys. Now, let's move to some of these laws. Now, I've given you these laws. Number 1, let me take another marker. I think this one will write much better. Now, an example, the log of a number, we can talk about the number, then we go about to their logs. For example, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, number 1, you need to know how to get those logs without using a calculator. Basically, obviously, let me give you the answer. The log of 1 should be 0.000. Log of 2 should be 0.301. Log of 3, 0.4771. Log of 4 should be 0.6021. Log of 5, 0.6990. Log of 6, 0.7782. Log of 7, 0.8451. Then log of 8, we can just add this. We can add these two, we get 0. We have to think. 0.9. Okay. I'm adding the 4 and 2. 903. 9031. Whatever. Now these guys, we're not cramming anything here. I'm teaching you the models. The moment you can remember this, of course, don't need to cram. You guys, you can use your calculator. I'm the only maths teacher that do not use a calculator. I want you to be like me. In fact, I want you to be the greatest student in the entire world. Like I told you in the talk, greatness is not a given, but you earn it. Now, the moment you have this means the log of any number here given to base 10. So anytime you ever get these numbers, it is simply given to base 10. What if somebody comes and asks you, what is the log of 3 base 5? If now it's given to a different base, please do not use a calculator. That's where you will go wrong. What you're supposed to do in that case, I'm guiding you. You will come and write it log 3 over log 5. I'm using one of these principles here. That when you get to a different base, that's not base 10, you take that over that. So log of 3 should be 0.4771 divided by log of 5, which is mentally, those are just basics. We call it mental mathematics. You guys join my mentorship program. I'll teach you how to be smart in the mental mathematics. So you'll be great in the math. Now I want to use each and every rule. For example, here we have been given log xy is the same as log x plus log y. What if somebody comes and asks you, what is log of 30 without using a mathematical table or calculator? I can rewrite my 30 as a multiple of two numbers. What if I write log my 30 to be 3 times 10? Then I go back to the basics. When I get the product, I add the logs. So you come and add the log of 3 plus the log of 10. And I want to teach you some secret if you did not know. The logs of the multiple of 10, you don't need a calculator or a mathematical table. Log of 10 is supposed to be 1. Log of 100 is supposed to be 2. Log of 1000 is supposed to be 3. So what is the secret? We are basically copying the number of zeros is what makes the log. So in this scenario, log of 3 from your calculator should be 0.4771 plus log of 10 is 1. Go back to your kindergarten, you are taught how to add, you get your answer to be 1.4771. That's how we find the logarithm of 30 without necessarily using a calculator. Now let me teach you another important concept. I'm identifying with each of the rules and giving you. Now the other thing, they can come and ask you, what is the log of 0.001? My friend, it is so easy. If you go back to your kindergarten knowledge, you are taught that 0.001 is the same as 1 over 1000. Then your basic mathematics says, instead of writing 1 over 1000, 1000 is 10 times 10 times 10. So how many tens do we have? 3. So you put it 10 power 3. Then instead of rewriting this, you are taught by your mathematics teacher in school, from the middle school, that whenever you have a number like this, allow me give you a very good example. If they give you x negative 2 is the same as 1 over x squared. Didn't you learn that? I know you learned all this in your middle school. The teacher also said whenever you have a half, you can write it to be 2 negative a half. So negative powers means fractions. I know your teacher also taught you, instead of writing a third, is the same as 3 raised to negative 1. You see how easy it is? So when we come here, instead of writing 1 over 10 power 3, I change it from fraction to negative powers. I write it 10 negative 3. Then you go back. Remember some of the rules that you've already printed and cemented in your hippocampus, knowing very well that whenever you have a power, it jumps here and multiplies from the back. So Mr. Jumping will apply its rule here. The negative 3 will come behind. So it is negative 3 times log of 10. Then what did I teach you? The log of the multiple of 10, you just count the number of zeros. So you come and write negative 3 times log of 10 is 1. So the answer becomes negative 3. You see, you've worked out the log of 0.01 without using a mathematical calculator or a table. In fact, a time is coming where I'll be encouraging the governments to do away with these plastics that are really interfering with our children's memory. Guys, let me take you to the next rule here. We have let me start from here. If I give you the log x over y is the same as log x minus log y. These are basic rules by the definition. Like you all know, when you want to eat, you have to wash your hands. So this is the washing of the hand. You write to your examiner, by definition, the rule states, just like if you go to a court of law, You give a definition. You give your defense. You don't just speak from nowhere. So in math, you say, by the definition or by that principle, you say that to your teacher. Then you say, if they ask you, for example, log of maybe 3/4, then they ask you, do not use a calculator. It is very simple. Tell your teacher, by the law, it will be log 3 minus the log of 4. Log 3, as we all know, 0.4771. Log of 4, as we know, 0.66021. When you get that difference, that will be the answer. But remember, smaller number minus bigger number, we get a negative. Let me take you to another rule. You can pause my video if you want to learn more. Now, the other thing here, they are giving here, for example, log the nth root of x power y. A teacher may decide and make your life difficult. They come and put log 243 cubed power 3. Then they ask you, do not touch your log table. In fact, this is what I used to tell my teachers. Teacher, take my mathematical table, take my calculator. Because this is a walking calculator. It's an institution of maths on the land, on the roads. Now, we come and say, instead of disturbing, you say, by the rule, by the definition, by that law, you come and say, log 243 power 3 base 3. Because I said, all the roots, let me check my clock, all the roots shall be written as a fractional power. Then you come and write your simple arithmetic. 243 we divide. 3 goes into 243, 81. 3 goes into 81, 27. 3 goes into 27, 9. 3 goes into 9, 3. 3 goes into 3, 1. How many 3s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is written to be log 3 power 5 base 3. Then you go back to the rule that says the power will always multiply behind. Then you come and rewrite 5 times log 3 to base 3. Then you don't leave your answer at that point. You come and say it can be written to be 5. Remember, I'd also taught you the log of a number to base of a number can be written to be log of that number or divided by the log of that base. So you come and say times log 3 over log 3. Then this is an easy arithmetic. The log 3 will cancel. Then your answer becomes 5. Have we used any calculator? The answer is no. So I'm teaching you the basics, how to work out numbers using simple Naperians, simple logs, okay? Then lastly, let me talk about this, which you are given to be log of x power k base n is equal to, okay, let me give you a good rule that I was almost forgetting. My subconscious mind has just reminded me that if you have log x base y can be written to be 1 over log y base x. Please keep these rules in your mind. Do not forget about it. Work with them. Then a teacher comes and asks, what is the 5 base x plus log x base 5 is equal to 2? Or the other way around. Or the other way around, what if they just come, the log 2 base 2 plus log x base 2 is equal to 5? I have about 3 minutes and I want to rush now. Now we come and say, by the definition, by the rule, by the constitution of maths, we know that the log of x base y can be written to be log of y base x. Then I rewrite one of them. I can decide the first part and write log of, I can take now, the log of 2 base x can be written to be 1 over log x base 2. Now I've rewritten this so that we will have in form of log x base 2. Allow me wrap part of these rules so that I can explain within the 2 minutes remaining, guys. You come and say now, 1 over log of x base 2 plus log of x base 2 is equal to 5. Now these characters look the same. They're etymologically related. They're like cousins because they're the same, okay? Then you come and write, let log x base 2 be equal to maybe y. Then here we have 1 over y plus y is equal to 5.